Hey guys, welcome back to Missing Out Mondays, where we tell you what we're into. Start your week off right. I'm Tauri Jay.
I'm Lex Michael.
Yo, Lex, Michael, what are you into this week?
So, as you may know, I'm a big physical media guy.
Yes.
When the EMP hits our country and we have no internet and it's a lawless wasteland out there, I'll be at home with, well, I guess I won't have electricity because of the EMP, but I'll have a generator and I will plug it in. And because I have all of this physical media, I'll be the only one on the block that still has entertainment. And y'all will be so jealous.
That's true.
But big proponent of physical media. And as a big proponent of physical media, I always find it disappointing when big studio releases don't. They didn't put much care into, say, the supplemental package on their discs, the way that used to be a big selling point for physical media.
Yeah.
So that is why I love labels like the Criterion Collection, like Shout Factory, and like Arrow Video. And I had been familiar with Arrow by name, by reputation, but I just recently made my first physical Arrow home media purchase. And it's a movie called The Grand Duel, from 1972. It's a spaghetti western directed by Giancarlo Santi, who was Sergio Leone's assistant director on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in the West. It's a movie that I really, really enjoy. It's got an awesome score by Luis Bacalov. Somebody else is credited on the movie, but it's pretty much widely known and accepted that Luis Bacalov did the music, which is great. Tarantino lifted some of the music for the anime sequence in Kill Bill Volume 1.
Okay.
The music that plays... when spoilers for Kill Bill Volume 1, when the Yakuza bosses murder Oren Ishii's family, that piece of score is Luis Bacalov's music from The Grand Duel, also known as The Big Showdown if you're watching the English language version.
Okay.
But great movie. But what I really want to highlight is the care and the effort that went into the home media presentation. It feels like, in terms of what they did with this particular release, and from the sound of it, what they tend to do with their releases, it feels a little bit like, in terms of the way they package the whole thing, somewhere between what Shout Factory does and what Criterion does, in terms of quality of bonus features, in terms of quantity of bonus features, in terms of overall package design. Like they have the reversible artwork like Shout Factory releases have. It is increasingly a rarity that catalog titles, especially older movies that might be a little bit more obscure, certainly as far as American audiences are concerned, it's rarer and rarer that they get this kind of treatment. And it's always, for me, as somebody who really loves movies and laments, the increasingly rapid death of physical media and also the lack of care that often goes into big releases, it's a joy. It feels like an oasis in my week, in my month, when I get to grab a physical copy of a movie that I really enjoy and see that the people who are asking for my money in exchange really care enough about the movie to add all of that additional value, all of that additional information. And if you really want to go deep into the movie itself, you can, without having to sift through and rely on Wikipedia and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing for me recently. I've been watching a ton of stuff, but that's the one that really sticks out. And I wanted to highlight it because I think it's a super cool movie that not a lot of people talk about. B, I think Arrow is a super cool company now. I'm already one purchase. I am a fan, and I want to highlight them because they clearly give a shit. And Lee Van Cleef rules.
Nice. That's interesting because I was just talking about how I wish that Netflix would include like special features or bonus material or anything of that sort.
Criterion Channel does that, and it's awesome.
Well, yeah, like I feel like everyone but them has something like extra, because I know that it's a rule for iTunes specifically that whatever is released electronically for them has to match whatever is on the DVD or Blu-ray.
Right.
Like it's a standard.
And that's why
rule.
You get like the iTunes extras and stuff like
exactly. So I wish that was something that like we would get from Netflix.
Didn't they do, I think for the first season of House of Cards, didn't they do commentaries that you could watch as a separate audio track on Netflix?
Maybe.
That sounds, somebody will tell me if that never happened, but I remember that happening, whether it happened or not. I remember it happening and wondering why that wasn't something they continued to do.
Right. Well, time will tell. I mean, they're under attack now by all these different streaming platforms, so maybe they're gonna have to step it up.
I'm assuming like Disney Plus will end up having some supplemental stuff as well.
Oh, gosh darn better. Like Mickey Mouse himself better come out and introduce every movie. Yeah. Like you started and he's like, ha ha, it's time to watch your Marvel show, ha ha. Yep. Just like that.
It's Tauri Jay as Mickey Mouse. And they better do that. Yeah, they better do that or that company may not survive.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for me, I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine lately. I've been catching up. Like I started watching
that show.
It's very good. I started watching around the first season. Like I was catching up on Hulu, and then I was watching so many other things that I lost track of it for many, many years. And then recently, I think in the last 4 months, I had started having it in the background, and then I caught up to where I left off, and I was like, this show is so funny.
Yeah.
It's so good. And so I've just been binge watching it. I'm on season 4 now. So much has happened. The squad is so well put together. I love how everyone really has a role in there, and everyone is so committed to their characters. But it also, the writers allow the characters to show traits that aren't just within the realm of what you've seen. So like there's a character named Rosa who is like very intimidating, but like there's a moment when you get to her apartment and it's really like well put together, and everyone's like, who are you? She's like, yeah, I just have a thing full of lemons for a splash of color. And you're like, well, but that doesn't fit my perception of you. And it's really great the way that they do that. They let these characters like grow organically, and they give you little information over time to keep broadening your perception of them.
All right.
But also it's super funny. The dynamics, they find ways to put characters together that you wouldn't really see bouncing off of one another, or characters that are fairly similar enough to where like you get these really fun samey scenes. It's like in improv where you either have two characters that are diametrically opposed, or you have two characters that are so in agreement that it just heightens the hilarity. And I feel like they do a really good job of giving us that. Guys, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is amazing. It's all on Hulu. I guess it's also most of it is on Netflix. I think they're in their last season. I don't know.
That's right. Who picked them? Because they got canceled. Who picked them up again? I remember this was a big deal at the time, and now I forget all of the details.
Yeah, I know it's an NBC show. That's all I really know.
So does NBC have it now? Did it come from Fox, maybe?
I don't know anything about it.
Somebody does.
Someone does.
Someone does. I am not that person.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's always been on it. Maybe NBC just once they canceled it, they were like, we're uncanceling it.
I thought someone else swooped in and saved the day for everybody.
I don't know. Guys, if you know, please hit us up on our social media. You know what it is. Missing Outcast. MissingOutcast. I know that it at some point had to be on the same network as New Girl, because for some reason they did a one scene crossover.
Interesting.
Yes.
I have to admit, to my great shame, I have never seen an episode of either of those shows. So that crossover would go entirely over my head.
I mean, they do a good job of calling it out pretty well. Like she yells, "It's a crossover." I mean, the car that I'm in is a crossover. It's cute. It's a good joke. You should watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Based on everything I know about it, I feel like it is a show I would enjoy.
Yes.
And it'll go on the infinite list of shows that I might enjoy that I may or may not get to one day.
Right. And I think that the thing that both of those shows have in common is that it took them a little bit to really figure out their dynamics. But once they did, and once they locked into who all the characters are, it really flourished and allowed the actors portraying those characters to kind of play around a little bit. And there's like a ad-libbed sense to it, but also like everything is very well crafted.
Right. I know New Girl was credited, at least in part, with giving people a more evolved take on Megan Fox too. Like I feel like that was right around when the conversation, like the maybe we as a culture were a little mean to Megan Fox conversation began.
Oh yeah, because she took over for Zooey Deschanel for a little while, right?
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, she's quite funny and likable," and maybe we were dicks.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely were.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like we're always dicks to people. Remember Kristen Stewart? And now, like, everyone at one point was like, yo, Kristen Stewart can't act, she's stupid. And then now everyone's like, yo, you seen her in her indie shit? She's so good. Same with Robert Pattinson. They're like, oh, he's dumb. Oh boy, you see him be a dumb vampire guy. And then now we're like, fuck, he's so good. He's gonna be my Batman.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because the two of them really do have very similar career trajectories, right? Like they both took a bunch of shit for being in Twilight, then they both went on to really interesting and really impressive indie careers, and now are both coming back around to giant franchisey things.
Yeah,
it's like she's in Kristen Stewart's in Charlie's Angels.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Which is coming up fairly soon as of this recording.
Yes, I'm very excited for it.
I am intrigued at minimum. Like that's my baseline for this thing is intrigued. So the scale is intrigued to excited.
Okay.
And I fluctuate because I don't know enough about the project.
I'm excited for it. Like I don't know how other people felt about the early 2000s Charlie's Angels with like Cameron Diaz.
We'll go to bat for the first Charlie's Angels because it's got the three of them and it's fun and it's got Bill Murray in it. It's got Sam Rockwell. I can thumb up that one.
Right. So
I don't like that phrasing. That was uncomfortable.
You gonna put your thumb in that one?
I don't want to do that.
Put your thumb up and spin it.
We'll fix this in post.
Okay, we won't.
Just dub me over.
Okay, give me some lines that we can dub over.
These sure are good plantains.
Yep, that was good. Yeah. Yeah, you can really put your finger on them.
Anyway.
But yeah, I'm excited for that as well. But yeah, so everyone out there, if you haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's great. And you should. I assume that it used to be on Fox maybe and is now on NBC. That
sounds right.
Because I think New Girl was on Fox.
Got it.
Don't look it up. We don't have time for that. All right. Well, that's what I'm into. That's what Lex is into. So,
yeah.
What are you into? Let us know. You can tell us on our social media, which is Missing Outcast, MissingOutcast. But you can also hit us up on our personal social medias. Lex, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the Lex Michael.
Awesome. You can find me at Tauri Jay, TauriJay. So tomorrow, we will not be having a full show due to some schedule madness, and I don't know if you've been paying attention to my social media, but I've been on vacation a lot, so
it's true.
We won't be having a regular show next week or this week, but we will be back next week. So stay tuned. Until then. Keep track of us on social media. Tell us what you think. You can do so on any of your podcast platforms. Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Store. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Leave us a rating. Help us get to the top of the charts, baby. All right. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful day.
I will. Thank you. How nice. All these well wishes. Look at them wishing me well.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Gotta start your Monday off right. Bye. You get it.